were my movie. I'd lock it in a fucking vault and pray the studio never closed. The so-called plot was pretty sad. The acting was just as bad. If I'd paid, I'd be real mad. This movie fucking sucked. Wicked bad movie.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Wicked Bad Movies, the show where we watch some of the worst movies ever made and give our opinions on them. I can't do it by myself as much as I'd like to. You guys don't want to hear just me talking about it. So let's bring out some guests here. We got Faye with new glasses.
I got new glasses.
Hey, man.
Hey.
Good to see you. Is there a delay with your... Oh, hold on. It sounds like there's a delay with your microphone really quick. Talk.
Hi, how are you, Kevin?
Yeah, your mouth's not syncing up with your fucking... I'm going to remove you and put you back in a second. Hold on. We got Berto! He's got a thumbs up. He's good.
Got me off guard. I was chugging Polar.
Let me add Faye back in.
Oh,
all right.
Man.
All right, Faye, try again.
Better now?
Much better.
Okay, I think it was the glasses that was doing that.
Probably.
Yeah. Should be good.
All right, let me just do this really quick just to get us on the screen at the same time. That logo thing stinks, but it's the best way to get us all on camera without the angle being all fucked up. Actually, no, hold on.
What is that? Just like it's just a block to make it
Yeah, it's it doesn't matter. All right. So guys, Wicked Bad Movies. Obviously, we are here to discuss a bad movie, potentially, but we're going to rate it because we have a rating system here on this show, and it is as follows. We're going to rate the movie we saw, which I will get to in a second. Wicked good movie, surprisingly good, bad but in a good way, pretty bad, or wicked bad. So before we get into the movie itself, guys, here's a little refresher, and for everybody watching at home, they'll get an idea of what we're watching here.
Adults are predictable. They expect you to behave as though what you do today is going to have an effect on where you'll be in 30 years. I mean, it's ridiculous to think that there's going to be anything in 30 years. I don't know what's worse, you know? Being blown up in nuclear war or having a 7-Eleven on every corner.
You want it to be just like you? I think maybe if I had your haircut, I could sell more policies? Or maybe if I had your mouth, I could close a deal every day.
Give him a break.
Giving him too many.
They love you, you know? Yeah, they don't know what to think of me. Maybe I am as bad as they say.
Who says?
Everyone.
You're different.
They're living under this illusion that life as we know it is going to continue forever.
I'm in trouble.
You got a B+ in calculus?
This is murder. It was an accident.
They killed my brother.
You're not listening to me.
No, you're the one who's not listening.
It was a suicide.
They killed my brother.
No one knows anything except a kid on a skateboard.
It happened right here. I'm not lying.
You gotta hear what it sounds like from where I'm standing.
Everybody knows that you're blaming yourself for the way that he died, but I want you to know that your friends, they still think about you.
Somebody had to shake their tree. You said so yourself.
Oh, yeah. By the rules.
You got your team, I got mine. I guess we all do unexpected things sometimes, don't we?
Gleaming the Cube.
Gleaming the Cube.
Yeah.
The Christian Slater classic from the 80s.
It's a good trailer.
Yeah, it is a good trailer.
It's exceptionally long, that trailer.
Yeah.
I tried to find a shorter version of it, but it didn't exist. At least not.
A decent refresher on the whole movie.
It really does, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was able to jot down all the notes that I want, like the topic points I wanted to just while watching that. I was like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, they touch on all of it.
Yeah, Manolo from Scarface is the detective. Nice.
Okay, it is him. I was wondering.
Yeah, that's Manny.
See,
one of my questions.
I don't know that guy from anything. I've never seen him in anything.
He's Manny in Scarface. That's it.
He's in Breaking Bad too.
He's Don whatever in Breaking Bad. Yeah, the boss. And Better Call Saul. Yeah. I forget what his name is in the show, but he's in that.
Jesus, I don't remember him at all from that. But
this next to the pool.
Yeah, he's always at the pool. Yeah, in every scene in Mexico.
Oh yeah, okay, that rings a bell.
When Gus poisons him, yeah.
So this movie, obviously, the plot line is for anybody tuning in that maybe didn't get it from that trailer. Christian Slater is a juvenile delinquent skateboarder, and his brother, his adopted brother, is murdered, and nobody believes him except nobody believes him. So he's got to go out to prove that his brother was murdered and it wasn't a suicide. So
yeah.
That's basically the whole plot of the movie.
So, yeah, it's a crazy fucking plot. Like
it is.
I did not see that coming because I didn't know what the movie was about. I just knew there was skateboarding in it. And when it got to the point, I was like, oh, okay, so he's got like a Vietnamese brother who's been adopted and all that. But then when they kill him, I was like, what? Like it just came out of nowhere for me. Like, oh my God.
Oh man. Like
I was really into the brother. Like I was liking his plot
story. It was awesome.
I didn't give a shit about Christian Slater and his skateboarding. I wanted to see a whole movie about that Vietnamese kid having work trouble. Like, that was
you wanted the Vin Kelly story.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden they kill him and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But I get it though. I'm glad they did because it was a crazy plot after that.
The plot really picks up after that. So this movie is very interesting because when it starts out, because I too have never seen Gleaming the Cube. I always just assumed it was like kind of like a 80s, like a rad, like where it's like about like a BMX race. I assumed it was like a skateboard tournament movie. Yeah. That's what I always thought it was. And I just obviously, Faye, you are a resident like pro skater, but like I haven't done it since I was a teen. I haven't done it since technical advisor. I haven't done it since I was a teenager. But even as a teenager, I never watched Gleaming the Cube when I was like into skateboarding. So
yeah,
I wish
I had never seen it, and I always kind of thought it was like a movie about skateboarding.
Yeah,
I kind of quickly realized like skateboarding is like the characters are skateboarders, and it's like kind of like scene dressing, but it's like
it's a murder mystery.
Murder mystery action.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like a little punk rock Jack Nicholson solving crimes.
It was like if Michael Bay directed Lords of Dogtown.
Yeah.
That's pretty much.
That's like a cross between Bad Boys and Lords of Dogtown.
But hold on. So like I want to go straight through this movie from like all the way through it because I think it's worth talking about everything, including the opening credits. I got my notes right here. The opening credits. I don't know what company the Rank organization is, but they have like a fully nude man banging a gong in the beginning of this movie. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
that's an interesting choice. Yeah. Interesting choice for the logo.
It's funny because I paused the movie before I started because I had to finish doing something on my computer. So I had that logo on my TV for like an hour. Like
you just had the nude guy hitting
before it even dawned on me what was happening.
I mean, I think it was a good choice. Caught your attention. We're talking about it.
Yeah.
One thing about this movie too, I love any movie that has a theme song. And this movie literally had its own was it whoa Gleaming the Cube?
Yeah, they say they got a Gleaming the Cube song.
It's incredible.
All the music in the movie is incredible. Like fantastic.
Yeah.
Dramatic music, the crazy 80s songs that just pop on when like there's a montage. Like,
dude, how about the 80s and Asian fusion music that like during the whole movie?
Anytime they went to like Little Vietnam or whatever they were at Chinatown, it just all of a sudden there was like different instruments infused.
It was like they took the score from I don't know, say Lethal Weapon or something like that, and all of a sudden they just like started like they stopped just like throwing in any Asian instrument they could find.
Fucking love the 80s.
Oh, it's so good.
And a lot of it wouldn't even be score; it would just be that little sting of music whenever somebody did anything.
Wow.
Yeah.
The upturn in music when anything happens.
I don't know. I wish I had seen that movie when I was a little kid because I would have fucking loved it. watched it every weekend. Like
I can't believe it took me this long to see it because it was
the perfect movie for me.
It's so up my alley.
Yeah.
But then the opening scene of this movie, the first time you see any of the characters, the skateboarders have broken onto an airplane field, an airfield.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I mean, they're literally like on runways. That seems really unsafe, and like it would have a lot of security. But it was the 80s, so maybe not.
And they paid.
Yeah.
Where were they? Were they in? I think they were in Santa Barbara or something.
They're in LA, right? I mean, just.
Well, where's Disneyland? That's
Anaheim.
Anaheim. So that's probably where they are then.
Okay, yeah.
Because like Disneyland is like in the backdrop of a lot of these shots too, which honestly brings the question: did they have to get the rights to use those shots from Disney from like the movie?
Who knows?
I don't think so.
I mean, you can like see rides and shit though in the background.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
it seems kind of.
That whole intro is so crazy to me too, because like when you realize why they're up in the plane, it's
scouting empty pools.
So dumb. Yeah, but I mean, I guess like it's effective and all, but they pay a dude like $40 just so they can look down at shit. Like maybe that's what I mean. There was no internet back then, so they couldn't like look up, who has like.
Well, hold on, because this brings me to one of my things I wanted to ask Faye about. If because I've never skated a pool or a bowl really in my life, but later in the movie you find out that Christian Slater had access to a full fucking vert ramp.
Yeah.
So why did they need the pool?
Oh yeah, he's immediately on the half pipe when he finds out that Vin is dead. It's like immediate. He's on there just like getting out his aggression,
Yeah. But like if he had like so I guess I mean it's the 80s, everybody was doing bowl stuff, so that I understand that, but like if you had access to that fucking half pipe, and it looked like it was in his like backyard or something, because it didn't look like it looked like a pretty secluded area. So why did they need to go to the lengths they went to try and find
somebody thought of that sequence and went, wouldn't it be dope if these little punks got on a plane for the intro just to scout out pools? Like that'd be rad.
Well, full discretion, I am not and have never been a pool skater or a transition skater. I never skated jump ramps, but I think a pool is definitely like a different type of skating than like a half pipe,
because it's like 360 like ramp.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. I guess so. I don't know. I guess that's like my mind was going back to like if you had the access though, and like why aren't you just there all the time? Is it worth it to pay this fucking plane dude? But
I think it's also like if you're like a rebellious kid with your friends, it's probably more fun to break into somebody's pool than to just be in your friend's backyard,
That's true.
Right. And also pools don't stay empty, so they got to find new empty ones, because it's temporary, so I guess that makes sense. Hold
on, because his friend fucking Yabo had an empty pool.
Yeah. Yabo I don't understand. Had one. Also, they suck at it too, because he gets horribly injured immediately when they get there.
Dude, there is a trail of blood following him, and it was a skull injury. And they're just like, it's just Yabo being Yabo.
He's never good at pools.
The dad, I love the guy who finds him. He's like,
who can I sue? Can I sue his
these
parents?
Kids? Yeah. More importantly, can they sue me?
Yeah. Great 80s dialogue.
Oh my god.
That part rang pretty true to me.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
The what's it called? I love when the and this is just jumping around a little bit. We will obviously we're gonna jump around a lot, but I love when the mom buys Christian Slater the pads, and she's like, "Oh, Ma, you got me the cool, good pads." I feel like, honest to God, like the pads were never cool. So I can't imagine that Christian Slater's character wanted those in real life.
He doesn't use the helmet until the end of the movie anyway. He just throws it in his closet when she buys it for him.
Like, I'll tell my kids that they need to wear pads and helmets and shit because I care about them. Right. But, like, I wouldn't have been caught dead in a fucking helmet when I started skateboarding as a teenager. No, you know? No.
I think it's different if you're skating, like, big ramps or, like...
That's true. That's probably true.
I don't think it was, like, stigmatized. Like, street skating, it's kind of like a no-go, but...
Yeah.
For pool skaters or like vert skaters, I think definitely at least like knee pads are like kind of a must.
Oh, ooh, yeah. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I guess you're right. See, this is exactly why we brought Faye, and he is the expert.
Yeah, he's our own personal Tony Hawk, which I took me till the end of the movie to realize that Tony Hawk was,
Me too!
was in the Pizza Hut
Dude,
truck.
That's one of my notes. Let's see, it's close to the top.
I knew he was involved too because I watched those GQ breakdowns where like a pro breaks down scenes from movies, and I watched the skateboard one with Tony Hawk, and he's like critiquing the whole scene where he's doing like tricks by himself, and it's clearly a stunt double, and then they cut to the waist up, and he's going like, and they just show the feet, like
Yeah.
You're talking about Christian Slater,
right? Yeah,
dude, that is some fucking bad editing. That is
well, also the stunt double is wearing a crazy wig.
Oh my god,
it's so obvious.
Have you ever seen one of those hats that it's a hat but it's got fake hair on it? Like that's how bad that wig was.
Yeah.
They needed to pull out wider.
They needed to compromise. They definitely compromised the believability of the continuity of the skate doubles.
Yeah,
for the quality of skating, because the skating is really good.
That was Rodney Mullen doing all the fucking the groundwork.
Yeah.
And then any of the time you saw him going over like jumps and shit, it was Mike McGill who was doing those. So real skaters.
There was a lot of like old pros like Mike Vallely and Nodis, a bunch of like old.
Yeah, I looked at the list.
Guys.
Well, I truly believe that the actors they got to play his friends were 100% just real skateboarders because they were so bad at acting that I couldn't. Like Yabo. Yabo was the worst. I don't think he's a real skater, but he was just
the one who lives in a bunker.
Yeah, he was the worst fucking actor I've ever heard.
Oh, I'm a fan of that actor. And
he's like a real actor.
He's great. He's great in Drugstore Cowboy too.
He's
a really popular actor.
Dude, he was terrible in this movie. He like, hey, your friends are here, for you.
Max Perlich. That's
God.
what it is. Yeah.
That was the worst acting I've ever seen. But
he's hilarious.
Alberto, it's literally 4 up from the bottom of my list where it says, I just realized that the Pizza Hut skater is Tony Hawk.
Yeah. I realized it at the end when he goes, I still got the keys. What do you want me to make a delivery now?
It was, dude. That's exactly what I knew it was him. When he woke up, I'm like, holy shit, that's Tony Hawk.
When he woke up in bed, yeah. And it's funny because I knew he was in the movie. I just forgot he was in like a long time ago.
Let's see. I got through the empty pool stuff. Faye, you ever listen to Johnny Rad?
No, I don't know who Johnny Rad is.
Oh man, he's got that awesome song that's playing where it's like, I just want to skate. Leave me alone while I skate. Something like that was playing. I was listening to it. I'm like, God, this is like just terrible music.
I don't know him, but he sounds like a kindred spirit.
Johnny Rad. Where's I going through this? And then obviously the plot line picks up with Vin. Brian is Christian Slater, but Vin is his adopted brother. Yeah. And he's just running the numbers. He's running those figures at that what looked like a video store, which is weird that they were selling like fucking arms and shit out of the back of it. But
no, it was a Vietnamese American anti-communist relief fund. Like it was a political thing.
It looked like it was a video store, though. I swear to God, it looked like Quick
That's
Stop
what it was
or,
so crazy to me. I
Video.
was like, I guess because it's the '80s, like communism was in talks a lot. But I was just like, this just seems so random to me, like he gets set up by these Vietnamese anti-communists, and like I was like, oh, it's just so random. Like,
oh my God,
I guess that's the '80s, though. Communism was big. So,
but he's like running the numbers. He finds the discrepancy. Like, if that guy really cared to like keep that kid out of trouble, wouldn't he be like, "Oh, that's on me. I made that mistake. It's something that I'm paying into. Don't worry about that number. We can wash that."
But
I feel like
he fires him. Like, come on, how obvious?
Like, it's so funny. And then that leads me to my favorite scene because then it cuts to Vin at home after Christian Slater gets back, and he's like
smoking cigarettes on the bed with his shirt open.
Shirt open. I'm like, literally, my note was like, did Vin just have sex? I'm like, why is he sitting there with his shirt open? Like, I saw him sneak out of the fucking window with the chick, but like,
oh yeah, he was pissed. He was so mad.
Yeah,
he was chain smoking too because he puts one out and lights one right back up.
It'd be great if there was a scene where he was like took like a hit. He was just like, like he just couldn't handle it.
Every single hit,
every hit. That's what would happen if I wrote this movie.
Yeah,
and there was kind of like the requisite anti-smoking stuff where Christian Slater is like, "Oh, come on, those will give you cancer, man."
Yep. Yeah.
Like that dude wouldn't be smoking weed and like cigarettes and drinking all the time.
Yeah, he didn't party at all in the movie. I was a little disappointed.
Well, he didn't have time. He didn't have time to party,
bro.
man. His adopted brother was killed days into meeting this character.
I know, and he had to find time to go hook up with his girlfriend.
Oh my god,
what a scumbag! Yeah.
Oh my god,
warm.
That's literally, where the fuck is it? Where do I have that on my notes? I wrote some bunch of shit about that. Shit, where did it go? Where the fuck did it go? Shit.
It's all part of his investigation.
Yeah. That shit. Oh my god! Like the whole movie, like I felt like it was so long. Like I was kind of like I was playing a little Call of Duty while it was on, and like every now and then I'd look down and be like, "This shit's still going." I hovered my mouse over it, and it was only like an hour in. I thought it was like on the second hour already.
It took me like 3 sessions to watch it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I couldn't watch it in one, but yeah. But the question I have for that is, so what's the play here, Brian? Are you trying to bang your dead brother's girlfriend?
I assumed he was trying to use her to get close to her dad, the colonel, so he could get answers. Like,
and that's clearly what he was doing. But then all of a sudden he turns this corner with it, where he's like, she's like, "I really like you, Brian," and like, how could she like him? How could she like him? Her boyfriend just died.
Yeah, it went from like I don't even talk to Americans to
like hooking up with Brian instead of hooking up with Vin's brother.
Yeah. They're not so bad.
She wanted nothing to do with him because he was like punk skater kid.
Yeah,
and then he like changed, like didn't even cut his hair, just like combed his hair and put on a sweater.
Took a shower.
No. I'm sorry. He shampooed it, Faye. He shampooed it one time.
Okay.
So that was, he never shampooed it. That's how he got that lift. And then he fucking just shampoos it once, and he's like, and she's like, "All right, I guess I can go out with you. You do shampoo."
Cleaned up nice. Full prep mode.
One other thing here. So Vin dies. Obviously, he's strangled to death by that other guy, which is fucking crazy.
With a wet towel.
Wet towel, right? Which, when I saw the wet towel, I'm like, what the fuck is he gonna do with that? Like that's not how waterboarding works.
Yeah.
And then he just like wrapped it around his neck. I'm like, well, this is a fucking weird choice. But
yeah, and the dude even says, he goes, "I don't understand. I've done this so many times and no one's ever died." Like,
yeah,
right.
He says, "That's happened to me. I'm still alive."
Yeah, he's like, and then didn't the colonel? He's like, he was a good kid. He just talked about how he like strangled millions of tons of different people.
Oh,
yeah.
One of the things too is and I don't know why I noticed this, but like, how much did Vin's parents pay for that cemetery plot? Because he was like exclusively by himself in the middle, like with no graves around him.
Yeah, well, they were rich, man. He sold policies.
Yeah, he did.
That's what he did for a living. He sold just random policies.
They could afford to get the kid the best pads for the hobby they barely support.
Yeah. He's like, "No, they're super expensive, Mom. And you just paid for Vin's fucking like $50,000 gravesite with no fucking people around him." And like, what's with I understand that he was adopted from Vietnam, but I feel like they like really drive home the fact that this kid was from Vietnam, like more than anything I've ever seen in my life.
Well, yeah, I mean, the whole Vietnamese, anti-communist shit is like, it's the whole plot, really. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I know, but like this kid, he had nothing. His whole side of the room was just Vietnamese shit.
Oh,
so much so that he had two pictures of fucking kois on the wall.
That's right.
Like,
shit. So that's where Christian Slater gets them from later. When he cleans up his own side of the room, he has the pictures of the fish on his side.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
I thought it's because he wanted to be a veterinarian when he was a kid. So it's like, oh, he's got fish on the wall. So he took them from Vin. All right.
But like, seriously, the everything on that wall, I was like, Jesus, like, I get it. You're driving it home that this kid was adopted from Vietnam, but like, holy shit, like the amount of stuff on his side of the room, like this kid's, all his parents ever did was push him into being more Vietnamese. Like it was like,
so
it was fucking mental.
Christian Slater loved like punk rock and skateboarding. This dude was all into Vietnam.
That's it.
Well, he liked stereotypical Asian things. Like
Yeah.
keeping his
Math.
room clean, computers, math,
Cigarettes.
cigarettes. Yeah, sure.
And then like, this is I asked, my question was, is this racist? Because
Yes.
when Christian Slater walked around and was just asking random Asian people to read whatever Asian handwriting he had.
Nah.
No, they were all Vietnamese. I think he was in like a Vietnamese.
Yeah, he was around the where. Yeah.
Or whatever.
All right. I guess he would probably know where like Vin like spent a lot of his time, so he could go down that way of asking people. But like when I was watching, I was like, holy shit! Like, is he really just going up to random Asian people and be like, "Hey, read this"?
I had a full page of stuff and kept asking people, and then finally the person was like, "Oh, it says like drugs," and he was like, "Thanks." Like translated one word for him, like of this page of notes.
Yeah. Well, I forget. I got some quotes here from people that I don't even remember now. But this one quote that I have says, "Don't give me a jerk off hand job."
Yeah.
I don't remember that line. No.
That was probably the detective.
No, I think it was one of the Asian punks.
It's one of the
okay.
Yeah, don't give me no jerk off hand job. Yeah, it's one of the. I forget who it was though, but you're right.
Oh, it was the guy. It was the guy that they kill. So the trailer we watched, like the kid that they kill at that point where they shoot him in the head, they make that seem like that's Vin in the trailer, and it's not.
Right. No,
that was that kid. He was on the phone with them saying that they owed him money for like giving the list back to him or whatever. But
yeah,
that's fucking crazy. But what else we got here? Oh yeah, the what's his face living in a fucking fallout shelter, Yabo. That's
I was wondering about that. I just assumed that was his shitty room, but apparently no. He's homeless. Like,
no, I think his family just had it.
Yeah,
yeah.
It was in the back of his house.
Yeah,
it was in the backyard next to his pool. He just fucking walked down into a fallout shelter.
It's just a cool like '80s movie place for a kid to live. You know?
Right. It's like where you would envy that if you saw that as a kid.
Yeah. You remember kids were always like living in tree houses.
I had forts. I had like 3 different forts in the woods, like that I would chill in.
Fort Berto.
Kids had no time for bedrooms in like '80s movies.
Oh yeah.
Movies.
You can't keep me in this box, Mom and Dad.
I need somewhere like whimsical to spend all my time.
Yeah. And then the one thing that you already called out him like going to the vert ramp to get his aggression out, but the best is when he has his flash dance scene where he's like at the fucking abandoned garage.
Well, yeah, that's the one with the crazy wig and shit.
Oh yeah. He's doing all the fucking. It looks like he's doing fucking the dance from Pulp Fiction.
That's the best part of the movie, in my opinion. Like, because he's just showing off all of his skills, but it's so clearly not him doing it.
Yeah, that's why I stopped liking him.
I would
freestyle skater.
I would pay I would pay money to see just the footage of Christian Slater just hopping up and down like this and no skateboard under him, because clearly that's what was happening. But
he skated a little bit in the movie, but like
he rode the skateboard.
Yeah.
But
I'm on the Wikipedia right now.
Convincingly enough.
What'd you say?
He learned how to like push convincingly.
Yeah.
Kind of like, all right, you're good.
How old was he at the time? He was he'd done a couple movies before that, like The Legend of Billie Jean and like I can't think of anything else. Heathers maybe, but
right.
But this was the first time I think I ever saw him in like an action movie, or I mean, it's not the first time I saw him, but in his timeline, I imagine this was his first like action movie.
Yeah,
he was 20. He was like he was exactly 20.
Yeah, so he could have learned how to. He grew up. I don't know where he grew up in real life, but he probably skateboarded a little bit. But
from New York.
Oh, really?
New York.
With that fucking Christian Slater accent that he has, like he's got such a unique voice. I wouldn't picture New York.
He's got a crazy fucking voice, but it got worse as he aged, though. You know, like you could hear it starting to come out in that movie. You know,
I thought he sounded more like Jack Nicholson in this movie. I've seen him in. It was weird, like hearing Jack Nicholson come out of like a little teenage boy.
Yeah, let's go skating.
You expect me to know what's going to happen in 30 years? That's weird to even think there's going to be something in 30 years.
I love that shit. I like how he just goes full Rambo, like at a certain point in the movie where he's just sneaking in places and blowing shit up.
Dude, he's a fucking terrorist.
And then he gets that beefed up tank board where it's all made of metal and shit. He's like,
I'm sorry, but like you wouldn't even be able to stay on that fucking thing. It's sheet metal. Your feet would slip right off of it.
Yeah,
there was no grip tape whatsoever.
Oh, really?
Well, it was made out of what do you call it?
Sheet metal.
Well, not but you know, like the crisscross, like
the graded metal.
Yeah, it was made out of that shit, like industrial fucking.
Yeah,
and then with the metal edges and shit like that.
And then I love when and this is I call this out too. When Christian Slater breaks into the fucking building, right? Because Vin broke into the building, gets caught, and that's how he ends up dead.
That's how he died.
When Christian Slater breaks in, all of a sudden he fucking sees an infrared laser camera and like knows to duck it. Why would he know how to duck that? And if so, why didn't they make the point of showing that when Vin went by originally to trip it?
I don't even remember that. I think I must have been playing.
It shows it, and it has another one of those like sound stings where it makes like a 80s rock, like 80s Oriental sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. They had little sensors. Very video game.
How did he see it though? How did he see that? He's like fucking just going. He's literally also. If you're sneaking around the warehouse, you're really gonna drop your board and start fucking like pushing through it, or you're gonna like creep around because I feel like the skateboard like hitting the floor was kind of loud.
Yeah,
trying to be quiet.
Well, doesn't he also use it to smash open the box to find
the
guns? Yeah. He
Which
smashes it open with his board.
By the way, we don't even know what was in that box because Vin never got him open. But at that point, my notes just say guns, some peace movement.
Nice.
That's maybe I don't like. There's a couple things that I probably like wasn't paying enough attention for. I don't even know what they were trying to do. Like the bad guys, like what was their motive?
I don't know because they had guns, but then they have drugs on the list.
Right.
So
are they just general criminals? Like, you know, I feel like he said there is a movement happening. Like, what were they like?
I think they were getting guns to the people in Vietnam who were trying to overtake the Vietnamese government or something. I mean, it was post-Vietnam, the war, but I don't know. I mean, I'm so bad with like historical like facts, like wars and stuff like that. So I have no idea like what was going on in Vietnam post the Vietnamese War. So
I'm reading the Wikipedia right now
about what was going on in Vietnam in the 80s.
What was going on in Gleaming the Cube?
Yeah, I thought that box was gonna have the cube in it.
Yeah, where's the cube?
That's what I was waiting for.
Well, so Yabo explains that's metaphoric.
He does explain that, and I totally didn't understand what he was talking about.
I didn't either.
You're different, man. It's called Gleaming the Cube. Like, what does that mean? Like,
it's when you're in the zone and you're having the sickest ride of your life.
I guess that was a nonsense term that a skater used in an interview, like in Thrasher in the 80s.
Oh, really?
Named the movie after that. Like they were interviewing some skateboarding, and he was like, "Yeah, man, it's just like going out there and gleaming the cube." And they were just like,
"Holy shit!" They made a whole fucking movie called that.
Yeah,
dude, that's incredible. Oh, it says it right here. The title of the film refers to the cryptic question: "Have you ever gleamed inside a cube?" That Gary Scott Davis asked Neil Blender in an interview in 1983 issue of Thrasher. Wow.
Dude,
pushing your limits to the edge. That's what it means.
Gleamed inside.
I feel like it just is whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, all right.
Dude, when you say it like gleamed inside a cube, it sounds like a sexual thing.
Yeah,
that's really gross.
Oh, dude, there's on the DVD. There's an Easter egg where if you can find it, there's a short featurette called "What Does Gleaming the Cube Mean?" That's awesome.
God damn it.
I miss
this is the sort of shit I needed to know. I would have bought the DVD and like uploaded the video so we could have watched it. But
yeah, we could probably find it on YouTube though.
So one thing that happened after that, he escapes, he realizes that they get guns, and then the next scene, like you get the people like the white dude who was running the ship, and then the colonel and Yeah, Lawndale.
I love Lawndale.
Yeah, what the fuck was his? Oh, I gotta rewatch this. I mean,
He
I
owned the
don't.
warehouse. He owned the shipping
Okay.
company that was shipping the guns, I guess.
Okay.
And with via the colonel's connections. But so like he realized that they're like under attack or whatever. So then he like, and this is, I answered my own question with this one, but when Christian Slater goes back to the warehouse again, and they got the barbed wire fencing up, I'm like, for first I was like, what the fuck? How come we've never seen him hit the barbed wire fencing before? Like, wouldn't he every time we saw Vin get in, we saw him get in the first time, they just rolled right into the fucking factory. And then all of a sudden the barbed wire fencing was up. But I realized it's because he broke in and Vin broke in that they installed barbed wire fencing and put up security, which honestly, if you were running an illegal guns op out of your fucking warehouse, wouldn't you have extra security on hand too, just to keep your fucking illegal operation running smoothly?
And did you really think that was going to keep
Brian Kelly? Brian Kelly. Of course not, man. He used that board to help get over the fucking.
Oh yeah.
I feel bad though. He lost.
When I was watching that, my girlfriend asked me if I ever did that.
Hopped a barbed wire fence with a board.
Discovered a conspiracy of guns and a.
I lied and said, "Of course."
Of course.
All skaters fight crime sometimes.
So he ends up going back to that building, and this is where, like, literally all of a sudden he's like, I'm blowing shit up. I stole the lighter. I stole the hat. Like, he's stealing all this shit. This is after the plot of him cleaning up and starting to date his dead brother's girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
But like, he steals all this shit from her dad and like sets him up, frames him, and like blows the building up.
And then that guy gets shot in the fucking chest and dies.
Yeah.
No.
So I think this would be like a way better Batman origin story of somebody getting addicted to being a vigilante detective. They get a taste and they just can't stop.
Gleaming the Cube. Dude, they need to make Gleaming the Cube 2021.
It's a Bruce Wayne origin story. Wow.
But yeah, so
again.
I like that he locked the security guards and thing, but then was like, I'm gonna move the entire fucking thing away from the building, which I don't think he'd be able to push. But he moved the entire unit away from the building to make sure that they didn't get in trouble when he blew it up. And then he goes and hides behind just a thin little pallet, which should protect him.
I love that he pulled up the pallet.
One pallet. This should protect me. There's a dumpster right next to him.
Yeah.
Why did he just hide behind it?
And then they had the two little fireballs that fly out and hit him.
Yeah. He's got to like put himself out. Like, oh man, that was incredible. But this is where the movie really picks up, because after that, it's like obvious that it's Brian that's doing all this shit, and the guy's plans going awry, and like he fucking shows up to the colonel's house, and just all hell breaks loose. And Brian knows he needs to confront him, and that's when he goes to Yabo to build that super sick skateboard Berto was talking about.
Yeah, well, he busts out all the gear that his mom bought him, puts on that helmet for the first time, and just goes full Rambo. Like, he's like, I'm gonna fuck these people up.
Really good chase scene with the motorcycles.
Dude, that was awesome. That was an awesome scene.
Yeah,
like I was sitting on my couch watching that, kind of like laid back, and then that scene happened, and I was like on the edge of my seat, like, oh, this is interesting.
Wait, was that he like stopped on a dime and turned around? I was like, yes, hill bomb scene.
Yeah,
so happy.
Was that separate from like the main chase? Because like, you know how the Pizza Hut truck gets involved with the chase?
That's the second chase.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, there's two amazing chases.
One.
But that downhill scene, I was like, this is actually fucking sick. Like
awesome.
he was flying, and I honestly, the bikes would have caught him, but but he was.
Yeah, motorcycles are really fast.
When he was fucking like just screwing down the hill, and then he sees the cops, and he's like, "Fuck it, I'm just bailing into this bush." And he so hurt.
He somehow manages to jump up on the cop car after doing like 50 miles an hour down the hill.
Dude, he would have been not only did he hop on the car, but like even if he made it onto the hood, like did he break the light? Did he hit the light off the top of the cop car?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
one of the bikers takes it off altogether, I think.
Maybe. All right, maybe it was the biker who did it. But all I thought was like, dude, like, because he ends up in the bush after he jumps the cop car, and I was like, if he hit that light, his fucking ass was on that cement, just like broken and dead, like rolling down that fucking hill.
Yeah, he would have went ass over tea kettle, but this is the 80s. Those rules don't apply.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
It's true. But yeah, that scene was phenomenal. And then the cops arrest the two other Asian vigilantes not vigilantes, hooligans, and they're like they're just speaking in Vietnamese to each other, and he brings in the fucking one cop that can speak Vietnamese.
Yeah.
And oh man, that cop relation
credit, they did set that up earlier.
They did. That was good payback, because I saw that guy come in. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Whatever you say now is gonna be fucking found out. But
the translator. Okay,
yeah. Yeah, and he just looks at him. He goes, "Oh, it's the white guy. Go get the white guy." And they're like, "Oh shit!" But I love that. The only thing that I thought was weird was, did you think there's gonna be a different connection between the I can't remember the cop's name for some reason, but like the main cop that was like kind of helping him,
Manny. I just keep calling him Manny.
Yeah,
Stephen Bauer.
I thought there was going to be a different connection between them, because it's like, oh, I know the family. He said he knew the family and all this shit. Yeah, I thought it was going to end up being like he was like a cousin or like some kind of family member or something. Or
he doesn't really do much.
He doesn't do anything
to me the whole movie, and like he was just being kind of like such a dick to Christian Slater the whole time.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I feel like he's in cahoots with the bad guys or something.
Me too. There was no payoff for his character.
Well, what I liked is that they kind of became buddies at the end, which I thought was really funny, that they're cruising around together at the end.
See, I thought it was kind of
like, what?
You got a new brother.
Yeah, a Spanish brother.
Tapping each other and stuff at the end.
See, this is exactly my problem with that character, because the whole time I'm watching, I'm like, I don't get this guy. I kind of got like a pedo vibe from him.
Yeah, a little bit.
And then at the end, he's like just like around Christian Slater. He's like, "Hey, come in my truck."
Yeah.
Like,
well, after their team up at the end, they're inseparable now. You know.
That's true.
They're detectives. You know, together. They're buddy cops. That's the next movie I want to see.
Well, you go through like a 3-stage action sequence like that together, you're gonna be friends.
Yeah.
It's true.
You know. Also, him sketching that the guy with the Corvette.
Oh, dude, I have that note too. Would that guy with the Corvette even? So this was my note with the Corvette guy.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Would the guy in the Corvette even give chase? Is what I said, and then I said,
"Oh yeah, the Corvette was on board with whatever Christian Slater told him to do."
Yeah. Seriously, he's like, "It wasn't a cop. Go get him." And I'm holding on, but he's like,
"Thanks a lot, buddy."
Yeah.
But I was like, literally, I wrote, how did car insurance work in the 80s? I was like, because wouldn't he be able to like still get his car repaired even if that guy hit and ran? But then I was like, and I said, also, wouldn't it be great if at the end of this movie the Corvette guy saves the day?
Yeah, and then at the funeral, at the whatever you call it, the graveyard, it's Corvette guy, Manolo, and Christian Slater together. And I'm like, wow, they kept this guy in at the end too? Great.
Yeah, dude. The dude looked like Michael Bay.
Yeah. They don't even tell you his name in the credits. It's just Corvette guy.
I thought they were trying to make him look like a Hasselhoff type or something.
Oh, right.
What else do I have here? Oh, what about the smashing the window scene? Like where like he sees the guy holding the girl hostage, and he's like, "Oh, Vin, I know you're gonna help me with this one." And like he literally just throws himself through a window
and then lands on the ground and does nothing.
For no reason. The guy gets shot and the dude makes it out with the girl anyways. So what the fuck was the point of smashing your body?
He doesn't karate chop him or nothing.
I thought the board would hit him or something to like, but then you wouldn't get that awesome chase. So I understand that it had to happen, but what was the point of that? Vin, you're gonna help me with this one.
The point of it was cool slow motion shot of guy flying through the air on his skateboard through a window.
Shattering glass window. You're right. But I do think that they gave him the appropriate amount of time to be laying there on the ground like, fuck. Like, that was really painful.
Yeah, he does lay down a lot.
Walking off thing.
But,
like, oh, this will be so surprising that the guy will just drop his gun and fall down and freeze.
That's actually a decent way of thinking about it, you know.
And then the best acting in the whole movie is after the colonel gets shot and his wife's sitting there and she's oh yeah, dude. No, but then the wife is freaking out. She's like, help me, don't die, help me. She's freaking out. And I was like, wow, lady, you just fucking dialed that thing to 10.
Yeah. She was thinking about her next job.
out of the blue, man. Like I feel like if I was directing that scene, I'd be like, "Whoa, we got to do another take." You are way like I understand he's supposed to be your husband, but come on, like let's not go that hysterical.
Yeah.
Your daughter just got kidnapped.
I was kind of surprised that they killed him. Honestly, I thought they were going to keep him alive.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. But yeah, and then obviously the chase through the town was fucking awesome, like the Corvette chase, and then I love when the guy shows up with because it wouldn't have been a doable chase if he took the car himself, right? He had to have the other guy driving, because then when things like playing chicken with a bunch of skateboarders where you really don't give a fuck about.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, all right.
That was a very ET shot.
Oh yeah,
coming over the horizon.
Yeah.
And that's Tony Hawk at his best, man. He's just staring him down.
Yeah. That is the best shot of the movie. Is Tony Hawk just taking up like the whole frame, looking very bored driving that truck. That was my favorite. I was like, that's cool.
Kind of ironic too that he's the only one not skating in that shot.
Yeah,
like you would think that they'd take advantage of the Tony Hawk's like.
He was the only one who had a license, Berto. They had to have him drive the truck.
Dude, I personally thought it was dope when after he lets go a guy's Corvette, he goes under an 18-wheeler.
Yeah.
Which I thought was fucking awesome. That's what I was like, this is ridiculous.
Just to connect back to the fucking Pizza Hut truck. But so that chase is pretty amazing. But if that guy were driving that car himself, those kids were dead. There's no way that guy wasn't just going to peel through all those skateboarders and try to avoid the Pizza Hut truck, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But because the other guy's driving, the other guy's like, no, I'm not hitting kids. They just like cut around the corner. But
I forget, like, I completely forget about the white bad guy, you know, like the main guy at the end. I totally forget about him, like, all the time. I don't even know what his name. What was his name? Oh, Lawndale.
Okay. Yeah, he was pretty bumbling. He was always like, you know, people accidentally getting killed a lot, and he's always very like, well, it's what are gonna do that happens? I don't know.
We'll pay his family.
Holy shit. That guy's from Boston.
Really?
Okay.
Richard Hurd, the actor who plays him, and he just died like 2 months ago.
COVID.
Well, we should dedicate this episode to Richard Hurd.
Yeah, Richard Hurd.
I knew I would have done it in memorandum.
We find out something fucked up about him, in which case, never mind. He's canceled. Never mind.
No, he seems pretty good.
Okay.
Oh, wait, rape. No, it doesn't seem like it.
He actually strangled a Vietnamese kid.
Yeah, he did. That actor did die in that scene.
Did he run with Mark Wahlberg's crew back in the day?
Yeah, just chasing minorities.
So they end up I love when they get him. He like fucking just like. By the way, is that every time I see that trench, I guess it's the trench. I don't really even know what it's called, but every time I see those, like I guess what do you call that? Is it the sewer line in LA where they do it like they do TV and all that shit, like all those shots.
The LA River.
Oh, the LA River. Okay.
No, it is.
That's where they race in Greece.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's my mind always goes there.
And of course, Terminator 2.
Yeah, T2 and Grease are the two things I always think of whenever I see that. The LA River. And
LA River.
So obviously they had to incorporate it. They had to incorporate it with him going like 1,000,000 miles an hour, letting go, then coming up the fucking ramp and kicking the dude as he goes by or whatever. But
that's been in so many fucking movies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it would be great if he's going by and hit him. He goes, "For Vin!" They didn't do that. But
honestly, I want to see if Vin was in anything else. Because no.
You know what's sad is that the video footage where the dad's watching them, like it's like what's his face's birthday, and they were like throwing frisbees back and forth. And he's like, "I don't like frisbees. It's stupid. I don't want to play frisbees. It's stupid."
Yeah.
Like. I don't care like how like disconnected you were from like your family. If it's like your birthday and they're throwing a frisbee at you, you're not gonna just catch it. Like, what a little douche.
Yeah, like what kind of like he wasn't unique for that. He was just an asshole, like a little asshole of a kid.
Right.
And his dad's watching it feeling guilty and shit. Like, what did I ever do for my son? He was unique. You know,
Yeah.
he's like all fucking sad and shit. I would have been like, no, I was right. My kid's an asshole.
He even says it though. That's one of my favorite parts of the movie too. He's like, Dad, you took me to Disneyland. He's like, you were 6. He goes, yeah, and I got kicked out for pissing all over Donald Duck.
Yeah,
and he's
yeah,
like,
right.
and then he's like, how is that a good memory? He's like, it's not, but I was a problem before Vin. So don't blame yourself for like bringing him into our lives. And like, I like that. I thought that was actually a pretty good plot line. And the dad, it's so funny because they had that bonding moment, and then you kind of feel like from that point forward they were like better. But then the kid keeps getting into trouble with the cops and shit, and like, the dad's like still yelling at him. I was like, oh, I guess that bonding's done.
Yeah, I mean,
that feels real to me too.
That's true. That's true.
That was good.
Yeah, but
is overall deceptively like complex. Like it was like the whole story is kind of like really creative. I
was kind of waiting watching this movie for like a laughably bad thing. Like I didn't really laugh at anything bad that was happening. Like there was very, very 80s things. It was very of its time. But yeah, it didn't feel like a hate watch or like an ironic watch or anything like that.
Right.
Oh yeah, like I definitely get like.
So the trailer. So I watched the trailer before I decided to watch this movie. Obviously, so from the trailer, I was like, "This movie's gonna be terrible. I can't wait to watch it." Right.
Yeah.
But then I watched it, and I actually kind of enjoyed it. So
dude, I did. I like the movie.
So I think we just gotta rate this thing now, guys. I'll put them back up here so everyone can get a look at them again. So we obviously rate them like this: wicked good movie, surprisingly good, bad but in a good way, pretty bad, wicked bad movie. So with that being said, Faye, how would you rate this movie?
I'm gonna say surprisingly good.
Okay, Berto.
Only one that applies.
Yeah, I'm going with surprisingly good.
So am I.
Yeah.
Surprisingly good movie.
Yeah, it has like a 29% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, but on Wikipedia it says the movie gained mostly positive reviews at the time. You know, like because if you're living in the 80s and none of that stuff looks like crazy 80s shit to you, that's just the way the world is.
Yeah,
I'd be like, this movie's badass.
Yeah, I don't know. It's so funny because, like I said, I skateboarded as a teenager, but so I kind of always assumed this movie was pretty terrible just from thinking I knew what it was. But being a fan of the 80s and like cheesy action movies, this movie was fucking great. Oh, yeah. I really liked it.
The music was top notch. Like the music is like my favorite thing about the movie. I want to get that score like on CD.
So, Faye, I know you watched this with your girlfriend. Did she like this movie?
I think she had kind of the same takeaway I did.
Like it was engaging, but she didn't love it.
Well, I think we were watching it, and I was kind of worried about doing this, where I was like, "Oh, I don't know if this is like bad enough. I don't know if I dislike this enough to like."
Yeah, well, that's
be funny and talk about it and make fun of it or anything like that.
Right.
I mean, it didn't blow me away or anything. It's kind of like unremarkable in a lot of ways, but yeah, I mean, we enjoyed it.
Well, that's the point of the rating system, because there's gonna be movies that we watch on this this show that are gonna be something. There might even be a wicked good movie mix in there that like just on the surface would appear to be a bad movie, which is why it can be put on this show. But I like this movie a lot.
I know you put Tremors in like some of the.
I brought up Tremors when I first saw the intro,
Right.
and I was like, Tremors is a good movie.
Well, see, there's things in Tremors that are certainly bad, but I
just
agree,
like this one, it's like corny shit.
Exactly.
But overall, dude, Tremors, I fucking love Tremors, man.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't do Tremors 1 if I was gonna do it.
I like Tremors 1 and 2. I like both of those.
See, I would probably put 2 on there.
Tremors 2 would be more appropriate, I think.
Yeah.
With the fucking walking Tremors or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Oh, the walking graboids.
The graboids, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're all graboids, but
now there's like fucking 6 of those movies now. And
I know,
and they all have what's his name in it.
Bert.
Yeah.
What the fuck is the actor's name? The guy who was in that fucking that show with Michael J. Fox. He was the dad. I can't fucking think of his name.
Bert.
Yeah, Bert.
Bert. Just Bert from Tremors. That's all he's known for.
Was he Alex P. Keaton's dad?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The hippie dad.
Yeah. I can't remember the name of that show for some reason, but
yeah. Well, either way, I'll see it, and it's like Burt Gummer. Yeah.
Burt Gummer.
Yeah, dude. Played
married to Reba McEntire.
Michael Gross.
But yeah, we also watched Sonic the Hedgehog. I was kind of hoping we could switch to that. Got a lot of thoughts.
Oh, on this channel? I haven't seen Sonic, so I don't know if it's good or bad.
I heard it's good.
We don't have time for me to give my
Faye's like, bring me back next episode. We're gonna do Sonic the Hedgehog. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna round it out here, just about under an hour. That's perfect. I think this is the first one, obviously, that is on the upscale of surprisingly good. Hopefully we got some more good ones mixed in with these bad ones, but I don't think that's going to be the case, because next week we are doing Lava Lantula, which is Steve Guttenberg from Police Academy and a couple other characters from Police Academy taking on fire-breathing spiders erupting from LA, from the Hollywood fucking mountain. And that is a
Lava Lantula.
Lava Lantula. It's set in the same universe as Sharknado, because they even have an Ian Ziering cameo in it.
It's a newer movie.
Oh yeah, it's new.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen 30 minutes of it, and it's gonna be special. But
there's so many of those fucking type of movies now. It's crazy. I haven't seen Sharknado or any of them. Like,
oh, Sharknado's bad in a good way.
But they knew what they were doing.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
There's no if you see Sharknado, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, this was intentionally filmed this way and intentionally written this way. So. But
I mean, dude, fucking Birdemic. We should do that.
Oh my god, that's so bad though. I honestly don't even think I could watch the full movie again.
I had watched it in a group setting. I couldn't watch it alone. I don't think.
Like because that's the epitome of like bad movie.
Yeah, like that and The Room are like my two top like bad, good, so bad movies.
Yeah, and John Wick.
What?
John Wick. John Wick is awesome.
John Wick.
John Wick is a.
That was the last time we ever had Faye on this show.
Canceled. We just put a red X.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for us here at Wicked Bad Movies. Thank you so much for watching along. And honestly, go out and watch Gleaming the Cube. It's free on Prime Video, and it's worth the watch.
Show it to your kids.
Cube Gleam.
That's right. When you're showing the kids the 80s classics, this has to be mixed in there.
Yeah,
so
your kids will love it.
They will. It's got everything.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for anybody who's going to watch this on the second viewing. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and we'll